You're listening to Factual America.
Brian, why don't you give us a little synopsis of what this McMillions is about?
Sure. Well, especially for us who grew up here in the States, McDonald's did this monopoly campaign back in the late 80s and all throughout the 90s where if you played the game Monopoly, you kind of knew how the game was played. You could go and get a large French fry, a Big Mac, and you get a peel-off sticker that you would then, build onto your board. And, with the right number of stickers and game pieces of Monopoly, you could win various prizes. You could win a jet ski, a Sea-Doo, you could win a bicycle, a new TV. And obviously the prizes kept going up to a house, a car, a boat. And the ultimate grand prize was the $1 million grand prize. And everyone wanted this. Who didn't want to go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac and win $1 million? And so there was this tremendous marketing campaign that McDonald's put out year after year. And they did this, sometimes multiple times a year, multiple campaigns. And then we would see, these winners come forward, who won the grand prize and what they were going to do with their money. And this went on for well over a decade. And it turns out that, from 1989 to 2001, almost every single winner who came forward for any high value prize turned out to be part of this criminal ring to defraud the game. And the FBI subsequently, helped round up all of these criminals in this massive, undercover operation. And over 53 people were indicted across 23 states. And most people don't know about the story, or at least didn't prior to us making this series. So it's a wild one.
Yeah, I actually want to talk more about that in a little bit about how this thing just sort of flew under the radar screens for most of us. You may or may not know, but they still run it here in the UK. I actually won a year's streaming for one of the local streaming services on the McDonald's Monopoly game here a couple of years ago. So and
interesting. We actually saw your name pop up in some of the federal records. So
I was wondering about that. Yeah, no, that one phone number besides Uncle Jerry's that kept coming up. There's a reason I haven't been back and haven't lived in the U.S. for a while now. But James, Brian's already alluded to this, but I do know, having listened to some other stuff you've done, you have a McDonald's background, if you will, and how big this thing was everywhere, wasn't it? It was just, you've got some great archival, obviously, of just of this game, and it just, I think it was quite amazing, even how it would drive sales.
Oh yeah, and specifically in America, it did, as you have proven because you've won. It eventually went to other places around the world, but growing up as a kid in the '90s, this thing was massive, and every single year they would run it once a year. Then it got to the point where they'd run it twice a year, because every single time that they would run this game, McDonald's, their sales would go up 30 to 40%. That's a massive amount. It was such a popular game. And I was one of the people that was just every single time it ran trying to win it. Yeah. And then it got to the point where when I turned 16, my first job was at McDonald's during the heyday of this game. And it was one of those things where you would trade pieces with friends. You were if you went on a road trip somewhere, you would stop at McDonald's in random places that you would never go, because you would think, oh, well, that's the reason I can't get that one piece I need, because I just keep going to the same McDonald's over and over again.
Right. Yeah.
So there was this massive thing. And, that's why when I first heard about the story, it really called to me, because I was one of the people that was trying to win this thing. And I was just blown away that I had never heard about this, that I didn't know that there was some huge fraud ring that was taken down, which at the time when I found out about it, it had been, 15 years, something like that.